Should Americans brace for a recession?
Absolutely not. Anybody who bets against Donald Trump, it's like the same people who thought Donald Trump wasn't a winner a year ago. Donald Trump is a winner. He's going to win for the American people. That's just the way it's going to be. You are going to see over the next 2 years the greatest set of growth coming from America as Americans. You saw it, 1.3 trillion of new investment coming in America.
If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that. You have to do what's right. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future.
In today's world, we're witnessing sheer chaos as the left unleashes a fear campaign against President Trump's monumental economic changes. They insist that his policies will wreak havoc in our lives while glossing over the tremendous growth and cuts to corruption that actually benefit tangibly the American people. We're fed a narrative of instability during a time when progress could finally be realized, and their agenda of fear is growing more desperate by the day. So you might ask, who's behind this onslaught, this assault against our economic stability? Well, that would be none other than the entrenched leftist bureaucracy that benefits from governmental bloat and inefficiencies. They're maneuvering to maintain their power and wealth while at the same time sabotaging Trump's efforts to reshape our economy for the better. Their strategy: spread baseless lies to manipulate public perception, all the while denying any wrongdoing on their part, of course, right? Disasters loom as these bureaucrats manipulate the narrative, leading to confusion and uncertainty amongst everyday Americans. But we have someone here today who can shed some much needed clarity to that confusion. Mark Wilburn, president of Neos Capital Development Group, has been bravely standing on the front lines to expose the truth for years now. And listen, gang, if you want to arm yourself with the right investments to navigate this chaos and take advantage of the coming golden age in your finances, Mark is actually hosting a free training on March the 20th at 4 p.m. or March the 22nd at 11 a.m. Take your pick. Just click the link in the description below. Reserve your spot for what promises to be a real game changer and for your finances in a wonderful free webinar. Mark, welcome. Great to see you again, as always, my friend.
No, Dr. Steve, it's a pleasure to be here with you, man. I love seeing the different headlines that keep popping because it's exactly what we voted for.
It's exactly what we voted for, man. Exactly. That's right. When they say we didn't vote for this, we didn't vote. My favorite tweet response is, I voted for every second of this. And I
Come
love
on.
it. So cut to the chase for us here, man. You're on the front lines exposing the truth about this leftist fear campaign against Trump's economic changes. And they are significant changes for sure.
Yeah.
But break it down for us. What's really happening here?
What we're seeing right now is the classic case of the left using fear to maintain control.
Yeah.
And here's why. Every time Trump pushes a major economic reform or policy, they panic, not because they're afraid it's going to fail and hurt Americans, which you wish they would panic for that reason, but because they know he will succeed and it will benefit Americans.
It's so true.
Every time. And so if we look at what he's done in 8 weeks, I mean, guy's going to be president for 208. We're only 8 weeks in. We've got a long way to go. We've already had so much winning. He's playing a long game here.
Yeah.
He sees a big picture. He's not worried about short-term fluctuations in the market, but he's making shifts that are long overdue. The tariffs, the budget cuts, restructuring trade deals so that these put America first instead of America last, helps rebuild our economy from the ground up and lays the foundation for the golden age that he keeps talking about. And so what people need to understand, and I think what most of us forget, markets react to ripples and economic shifts create those ripples. So if there's uncertainty, that's where the reaction comes from, not necessarily bad policy. And so what I see in those signals is what Trump is doing is working. It's actually working, and that's what's making the markets move. And when we know how to do that, we don't panic, we position. And I think that's what people need to realize. Like, now's not a time to panic. It's a time to position yourselves for the opportunity.
I absolutely I love the way you put that. Don't panic, we have to position. It's so cool. There is this sort of Chicken Little narrative, isn't there? That the sky
100%.
is falling in the light. And I love what you said. I love how you put that. They're freaking out. The Democrats are freaking out, not because they think Trump will fail. It's because they think he'll win.
Well, he's got a 4-year track record from his first presidency of winning. And
Yeah.
that's what they're worried about, is that
Yeah.
he's going to do such a good job. When you have such great change, it's hard to get reelected after you've been kicked out for doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me so mad because this is what Doge has exposed. Doge has not exposed a system of waste. Forget that. It's a system of fraud. It's a system
100%.
that was intentionally set up to spend the way it's spending. That's what drives me nuts. And again, it just seems to me that this whole bureaucracy, this whole establishment was created purely for the benefit of itself at the expense of taxpayers. And then we've got the Democrats, literally doubling down on bureaucrats rather than taxpayers. It's insane.
Oh, when you hear the phrase like Trump's a threat to democracy, all the things they're saying, if you put bureaucrat where democracy is, or bureaucracy where democracy is, it makes way more sense.
It makes way more sense for sure. You know, you pointed to this entrenched leftist bureaucracy as the cause of this onslaught against our economic stability. So how have they actually fueled this chaos?
Well, it's all about control, because the government, big government, the leftist government thrives on 3 things: government expansion, high taxes, endless bureaucracy, which we've mentioned and been talking about. That's where their power is. That's where their money comes from. And so the moment Trump came in, starts cutting all the waste, unleashes Doge, unleashes Elon Musk, finds the fraud, slashes unnecessary spending, focuses and forces trade deals to put America at least even. I mean, some of these deals we're way in the red on, and he's just trying to get us to even. The entire establishment panics, because when you shrink government bloat, like you mentioned, you cut off their money supply.
Yeah.
So they can't funnel the millions and billions into pet projects, special interest, or agencies that don't benefit American people.
That's right.
That's why they're trying to convince the public Trump's dangerous. You know, these are dangerous moves that he's making. Who's it dangerous to?
Right.
The bureaucrats.
Right.
And so when Americans are confused, they get scared. They don't understand what's happening. People are easier to manipulate, and they're using the stock market as a weapon right now. So they push all these headlines of like economic uncertainty to scare people from investing, when in reality, these are the moments that make millionaires.
Yes.
And that's the great thing about trading, is you actually can learn to make money if the market goes up, if the market goes down, if it goes sideways. It's different than buy and hold. And we like to teach people how to do both.
Right. Well, that's why I love what you do. I mean, trading is different than investing. It's it's a different mindset, it's a different technique, and you do. But that's the thing; you're holistic in that sense.
Exactly, and I think that's a great approach to the markets, because the left just wants people to feel powerless. But when you understand how the economy works, you can see through the manipulation. You can find the opportunity and actually take that power back for yourself.
Weren't you talking about, I think you were on a ski trip with your wife, is that? And then you were doing some trading? And you literally paid for the trip in a day or something akin to that? I don't know if you want to relay that. That was just so awesome.
It was actually our honeymoon. We went to Heavenly in Lake Tahoe and went skiing. It was one of my bucket list places to go ski. I didn't know at the time. My wife hated it. Like, she hated skiing. She loved the like snowmobiles and stuff. And so she was in the cabin like, hey, I'm just going to go get some hot chocolate. You go hit the slopes. And so I was coming down, and as soon as I got down, I had internet kick off and got cell service again. And I had an alert go off on my phone. I looked at it, and a stock I had been in had actually sold. That I just had a order. It's called a good till cancel. It was sold automatically on the ski trip, and I made enough money in that trade to pay for the entire trip.
I love it.
up to that point, because when she found that out, because I was really excited, we went shopping. So it actually added to the cost of said trip. But
And
it was worth
all
it.
of a sudden you're in the red again. That's right. Yeah. Got to find another trade. That's what you got
That's
to
it.
find. If
And
you're
there's
just
always
joining,
another one.
yeah, guy. If you're just joining us, I'm talking with Mark Wilburn, president of NEOS Capital Development Group. He's graciously hosting a free training for all of us on March 20th at 4 p.m. or March 22nd at 11 a.m. Take your pick. Just click on the link below to register. It's going to be a real game changer. You definitely want to join him. I've seen Mark's free trainings, and they're awesome. Mark, in your view, how have these bureaucrats been able to, shall we say, manipulate the narrative and spread these baseless lies for so long without being stopped? I think so many of us were just frankly shocked at what we were seeing coming out of Doge, particularly.
100%. Well, we have to remember that the left still has the loudest microphones. They've got
Mhm.
corporate media in their pocket,
Mhm.
government agencies, most social media companies. Thank God for Elon purchasing X.
Yeah.
You know, Rogan says that's probably one of the biggest moves that have steered
Definitely, by far.
our democracy. They've got parts of Wall Street in their pockets. And so they flood the airwaves with fear and they spin economic news as disaster and ignore the wins that are happening. Like the flow of illegal immigration has basically stopped. Where were those headlines? Right? We just brokered a deal of ceasefire between the Ukraine and Russia. He did that in 8 weeks. The past president couldn't do it in 2 years. Where are those headlines? And so they use this one thing as a weapon because most Americans don't understand how the stock market works. So they push panic-driven headlines to make people hesitant to invest and take control of their own financial future. And the people who benefit are the very bureaucrats who manipulate these cycles for their own gain because they understand the truth is the market does move in cycles. And volatility, even though it seems scary, is not something to fear but understand. And the people who don't get caught up in the noise of the news, they can survive and thrive through these shifts.
Man, you got quite the turn of phrase there. The noise of the news. I love it. You said not survive but thrive. You got a got a little Matlock kind of
Hey, man, it's all
zing
alliteration.
to you. Yeah, I love one of my favorite politicians, John Kennedy of Louisiana. Just his
Yeah.
turn of phrase is just. I mean, you're reminding me a little bit of a young man. We'll see what you
I'll
were
take
like.
that. I'll take that
40
as a
years.
compliment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, absolutely. Very folksy. I love it.
Who
So,
who
I mean,
knows what the future holds?
that's right. That's right. That's exactly right. So, with all of this, confusion and uncertainty that's looming every day for the American people, it was clearly the legacy media is trying to stoke, purposely trying to stoke. After all, their USAID funding is going kaput as well. They're very upset. This is nevertheless the golden age, and we're all about hope and opportunity here.
Yes.
So, what hope? What's the opportunities that you see for us and our families moving forward?
Well, we need to realize that uncertainty has always created the greatest moments of opportunity.
Yeah.
And so every major economic shift, industrial revolution, tech revolution, past market failures and recoveries create massive wealth for people who are prepared. Look at COVID. COVID
Right,
created
that's true.
massive amounts of millionaires if you
Yeah.
were prepared for it. And so right now we're watching this once in a generation shift and reset as Trump is cutting through the waste, putting America and Americans back in a position of strength. And this forces global markets to adjust, meaning people who understand how to position themselves will come out ahead here. And so the hope that I think is there for everybody is you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be a victim to the uncertainty, to the media, to the noise if you learn how to navigate it. Make the
Right.
smart moves and take advantage of it. Because
Right.
when you know the game, you're not at the mercy of the game anymore. And
Right.
so this is why I'm not afraid. My students aren't afraid because you have the skills and can learn the skills to thrive in any environment, whether it's bull markets, bear markets, what I call squirrel markets that are choppy and sideways. It doesn't matter. There's always opportunity. And I think this is why conversations like this are so beneficial.
Yeah.
And you do such an amazing job bringing this to Patriot America.
Wow. Well, speaking of amazing job, why don't you mentor us a little bit here? Let's get some practical tips. I mean, you've helped countless people build prosperous futures through smart investments. I've seen it.
Mhm.
repeatedly from our own audience here who've been working with you. How does your approach, Mark, work to navigate this economic chaos and come out on top?
To me, it's all about understanding the patterns that the market shows you because it's not random. The pattern, like everything else in our life, actually has a certain flow to it. We could go spiritual and I could show you the background on that, but I call this price flow in the markets. And that's what we call it in our training. So when you know what to look for, kind of like surfing a wave in the ocean, when I can see that wave coming, I know when to ride the wave and when to not. And it allows me to make an informed decision, not an emotional decision.
Right.
And that's how we've helped people navigate these shifts. In fact, a couple of weeks ago on March 3rd, we actually called out, watch the S&P to drop into 5680 and then 5550. And it happened this week. And so most people, they panic when they hear this news, but the ones who build wealth, they're the ones who see opportunity when other people see chaos. And so my approach focuses on those. It's identifying trends, managing risk, and then using the right strategy to protect and grow your wealth in these times. And so the best part, I think, is anybody can do this. Like, you don't have to be a Wall Street insider to take control of your financial future. Anyone can learn how to do it. I've taught people who were truck drivers, doctors, you name the profession. I have had the opportunity to speak and teach into their lives. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because when you understand how to navigate it, you stop feeling powerless and you start making moves to put your family, your kids, and your legacy ahead. Like you, I want patriots to prosper, not bureaucrats.
Right. Oh, I love that. I thought of you just a few days back because I thought at the Golden Age Summit, you made a prediction about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it was going to dip into the 70s.
I did.
Didn't you? Yeah.
Did.
What happened just a few days ago?
Dipped into the 70s.
It dipped into that. Now, I gotta be honest, when you said, because I watch Bitcoin religiously, but I don't know the market like you do. It drives me crazy. But I gotta be honest with you, when you said that, I'm like, nah, we're sitting pretty at around 90, 100. We're okay. It's not gonna dip into this. It did. And I was like, the guy's Nostradamus. How does he do this?
I promise you, it's not Nostradamus. It's just years of watching and knowing what to look for. But what's beautiful, like we did a training today for some of those listeners, actually, and teaching them and showing them these ideas and saying, hey, if this happens, this is what we're looking for.
Wow.
And everything happened.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm Nostradamus. I can see the future. I wish I could. That'd be great. I'd be for sure like, hey, what are those winning lotto ticks? But it's because we know what to look for. We've taught people what to look for. And it's not chaotic.
Yeah.
There's a rhyme and a reason to it.
There's a pattern.
And that's what we want to show you on this free training.
Gang, this is amazing. I mean, I couldn't recommend anyone more than Mark and his work, particularly in the market. He's been on the front lines exposing the truth of what these bureaucrats have been up to in DC for years now, and he knows their tricks. And even more importantly, he knows how to show you how to financially prosper in the midst of it all. Mark has agreed, as you heard, to host a free live training event for our listeners. He's actually doing two of them. It's Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, and another one on Saturday at 11 a.m. And you can take your pick, either one. If you want to find out how to prosper during these volatile times, find out all these patterns and the beginnings, the rumblings, the rising of the golden age, you're not going to want to miss this. This is amazing stuff. This is going to be a game changer for your life. I can assure you that. Just follow the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen and sign up for an amazing free training. Mark is the best. Again, it's creepy, man. I know you're not Nostradamus, but it's creepy. I've seen you do it. Mark, you're the best, man. I understand you've got a special gift for those who register. Is that correct?
I do. Thank you for bringing that up. If you register, if this is of any interest to you and you just register for the event, what we're going to do is enroll you in our new financial education series, absolutely free.
Cool.
And you'll get 2 emails a week that's going to help grow your financial and trading IQ. And so worst case scenario, just register. If you can't make it, it happens. You can check out the encore, but you'll at least get the ball moving to understand what we're talking about here.
Oh, guys, do not pass up that amazing offer. That is phenomenal. Thank you for that, Mark. That's great. Awesome, gang. Don't miss out on this chance. Take charge of your financial destiny amidst this chaos. Click on that link below. Sign up for Mark's amazing free training on either March the 20th or the 22nd. It's going to be awesome. Mark, you're the best. Thanks so much for being with us, man.
Appreciate you, my friend.